craft friends, it's Rick. I'm back with another video. Today we are making a Storybook themed card using the Storybook Alice stamp set from Whimsical Stamps, along with a couple stencils, and we're gonna get started right now. I've already stamped out my little Alice and my Storybook. We're gonna color those up first. I'm gonna color with Copic markers today, and we're gonna go ahead and color up Alice first. So I'm gonna go ahead and color her skin, and I'm gonna use E11 as my darkest color for that. So we're gonna add a little color to her face. We're not gonna do super technical coloring. We're just gonna do something kind of simple. So we're just gonna add a little shadow color there. We'll add some to her little legs. And then I will blend that out with E00. So I will take and blend that, or E11 out with that. And we will blend this nice and softly. Just a subtle little skin tone. And then my lightest color will be E000. So we'll blend our E00 out. And we'll just color right over that. Now for her little dress, we are going to use some BGs. We're going to use BG45 as our darkest color. So we will add our shadow color in here. We're also going to use BG15 as our mid-tone color and BG10 as our lightest. So I'm going to come in this time. I'm going to come in with BG15 first on the little flaps of her dress, the folds of her dress. And then I'll switch over to BG45. And then I'll blend that out with BG10. Just blend that out right there. I'm going to go ahead and fill the center part of her dress in with BG10. And I will switch over to BG15 as my darkest color. I'll flick that in from the sides of her little outfit here. And then we will come in with our BG45. And then our BG10. Then I'm going to go back to BG45 and BG15. I can blend that together. All right, for the little white parts of the dress, I'm just going to use C1 and C0 for the whites, for our little shadow colors. We'll also use that same on our on her aprons and her little socks. So I'm going to start off with that C1. I will blend that out with C0 to the light of the paper. And for her little shoes, we're going to go in with the 100 marker. I'll just add a little bit of black to her little patent leather shoes. And then I'll switch over to C9 and blend that together. It's also going to give us our socks a little bit of time to dry, because I'm going to come back in with that BG45 and add a little color to her little socks. All right, for her hair, we're going to do Y8, Y6, and Y2. So I'm going to start with my darkest color, and I will add that in. I'll switch over to Y6. And I'll blend that out. And we will do our Y2. Just like that. Let's go back and do her little neck. I just see that we forgot that. And I will go ahead and add color to her little headband as well. And I'm going to add just a little bit of red to the little cherry right there. And then we'll color up our little cake. And I'm going to use BV17 V17 and V15. So I'm going to start off with that BV. I'm going to add that to our icing on our cake. It's also going to be, I'm going to color the plate as well. We'll switch over to V17. I'll blend that together. And then I'll go to V15. As our lightest color, we'll blend that all nice and together. Let's go ahead and do our rest of our little plate. And then we are going to do our cake as well. We're going to use the same colors we used on her hair. So I'm going to start with that Y8. I'll add that in, and then I'll switch over to Y6 and our Y2. There's our little cake all colored up. Now we're going to go to our little book. So we're going to pull in some browns. I'm going to start off with E59 as my shadows on my book, the darkest area here. And we're just going to come right there. We'll come right where that little crease would be. I'm going to switch over to E57. Nice little brown book going on. You can color this actually any color to match your color scheme. We're going to go with brown to keep it neutral. Now I'll finish that blend with an E55. I'm going to use E55 for the binding and the pages. I'm going to add just a little coming into the center of our pages. So I want these to look more like an antique book. So we're going to flick that in right there. I'll switch over as my mid-tone is going to be E53. So we'll blend that together there. We'll do the other side of our book over here. And then we will do our E51 and blend everything together. There is our book all colored up, ready to go. So we will use the coordinating dies and I'll cut our images out. So I'm going to take some low tack tape and I'll line up our die cuts and I will secure those in place. So we'll line up our little book die cut. We'll get our die cutting machine and we will run this through to cut our images out. So I can pop those out. I'll save our take our dies off in just a second. All right, we're gonna work on our background. So I'm taking the one of the A2 Masking Stencils and I'm gonna take our Wonky Checker Stencil. I'm gonna layer those together and I'm going to actually tape it together because we're gonna stencil. I only want this on a portion of our card front. So I'll go ahead and secure both of these together just with some low tack tape. Line that up. Take and line my little stencil up. And there are etch lines on your masking stencil so you know how you have it lined up straight. You just want to line those up on your card front. I'm actually going to trim the panel down also. But I'm going to add two different colors. I'm going to add blue and I'm going to add a purple to my background. I'm going to start off with my blue color. And I'm going to add a little blue right there. We'll switch over to our purple. Just so we have a little variance in our color. I just want to have a nice fun card. We'll go back to our blue. And I am letting the colors blend together. We'll alternate to purple now. And then we will touch up this little corner right here with just a little bit of blue. And here's our cute little background. It actually gives us, by doing that, you actually get a simple landing area already set for your card. So now we can actually take this if we want to. You can take your stencil panel, line it back up on your etch lines, and you can actually trace around that and give it a little subtle matte as well. I'm just going to take a gel pen, and I'll just trace that edge around our stencil. Now pull this off, and now we have an instant matte layer. So I'll remove this. I'm going to trim this panel down in just a minute. Actually, we'll just go ahead and trim it down a little bit for our card. I'm going to trim it 1/4 of an inch on all 4 sides. So we'll just go ahead and trim this down. There's our card front. I've already cut down a piece of white cardstock to 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to stamp our little, that's going to be for our inside. This is our card base, just a standard A2 card base. I just picked a light teal color cardstock to match our coloring. So I'm going to add my little people first, and we will stamp our sentiment. I'm going to add some foam squares behind them. So we'll add a couple behind our little Alice. We will flip over our little book, and we will add foam squares behind it. And if we have to cut them down, we can for our little corners here. Add some little foam squares right there so we don't sag anywhere. There's our foam squares all added. And actually, before I place these down, I'm going to stamp a sentiment on here on our card as well. So let's pull our stamp positioning tool back in. I'll place that in our tool. Kind of place our images where we want them to be. And we'll pick out a sentiment. We're going to stamp what dreadful nonsense are we talking on the outside of the card. And I'm going to stamp that using VersaFine Onyx Black ink because it's a nice dark ink for our sentiment on the outside. We'll take and remove this. And I'm going to go ahead and place my piece for the inside in our card. And I'm going to stamp Happy Belated Birthday on the inside. So I just think that's a fun sentiment to have with the sentiment on the outside. And let's see, we will stamp one of our little characters on the inside as well. I'm going to do the Hatter. So we will add our sentiment right there. And we will stamp him using our blue ink and a little bit over of our sentiment. Line that back up. The rest of our sentiment we're going to stamp in our purple color. So it ties everything together. We'll remove that. And then we can start putting our card together. We will go ahead and add our inside to the inside part of our card. We'll just use liquid glue for that. And then we will add our outside. So we're going to give that a good little margin. Let me make sure it's nice and lined up. We will go ahead and add our book first. So I'm going to peel these backings off. I'm going to add just a little liquid glue on our foam squares. And then down there where I didn't get it quite lined up when I did my little margin, I'm going to place that book right over top of that so no one will ever know. I'll peel the backings off of my little Alice. I'm going to add a little bit of liquid glue to her feet and to our foam tape. Let me move those tweezers to the other side. And we're going to stack her right onto our book. Just like so. I'm going to come in with my gel pen and clean up any areas I need to clean up where I went outside the lines a little bit. So we'll clean that up. We'll also add our highlights to our book as well. A little bit to our pages. And we will clean up anything around Alice that needs to be cleaned up. We'll add our highlights to her. Definitely to our little patent leather shoes and our cake, because they would be highlighted. A little bit to her arms. And we're going to add a little bit of glitter to the cake. So I will add that so it's nice and sparkly and shiny. And I'm also going to add a few little baubles to our scene. So I've just got some little raspberry baubles I'm going to add to that. And we're going to add a couple here. We're going to add a couple or 5 around our sentiment, and we're going to add 2 over on the other side. So I will pick a large one for there, and we'll get a medium one here. And then we will grab a couple small. If I can get it picked up, we will grab a couple small. A small one right there. And a medium. We'll add a medium here. Add a small one down here. Actually, we'll add that small one right there. We'll add another small one here. And a medium one up here. I think that looks good. All right, my friends, here is a finished look at our little What Dreadful Nonsense We Are Talking Happy Belated Birthday card. There's a look at the outside of the card. I'll hold it up closer to the camera for you so you can get a better look. Here's a look at the inside of the card again with our fun two-tone sentiment. If you need any of the products that you've seen used today, I have them all linked and listed in the video description below. I'll see you over in the next video right over there. Bye, guys. Stay crafty. Love you.